Good morning, America. This is Dr. Cherry. Today we are May the 5th, and I have another interesting newsletter for you today. These Cosmic Code newsletters are usually for my VIPs, but the information are so important that I decided to publicize them so everybody can benefit from my work and eventually build up enough cosmic consciousness to understand Nostradamus' 16th century divine astrology methodology. In fact, the title of this video and the newsletter associated with it today is Did Nostradamus Predict the Descent of Man after the Notre Dame fire? Well, obviously, he did. When you are a prophet with such a name like Nostradamus, and knowing what I know about the prophet and the cosmic code and the power that comes with it, led me to create a new quote today. And this quote is specifically directed at all the skeptic, the agnostic, the atheist, the educated idiots out there who believe astrology is a pseudoscience. So pay attention. A man who understands the power of the stars and predict the future is someone you should love and fear. The cosmic forces working through him will also work for or against you. That's not a joke. In this newsletter, I refer to Nostradamus, of course, and also make a lot of people aware of the curses that he left for all the so-called astrologers and psychics who would use his name, not being cosmic conscious and ending up making him look like a jerk. So be cautious. There is values in metaphysics, and there is forces that are at play that you have absolutely no idea, and they can reach you, and that's not a joke. I have stories to tell you that would freak you out, that would make the hair on the back of your neck crawl. Some of the people that I came across in my life that really deserved to be punished, and from the bottom of my heart. And there are ways, of course, to avoid karma by stimulating negative energy or working with the reptilians. But now at my age, at 69, I have learned a little bit more not to misuse those energy. I was doing this unconsciously. I wrote it all in my book, Beyond the Secrets, and delivering those secrets brings also responsibility and dignity. So you have to be cautious. If you ever read my book, Beyond the Secret, whatever you're going to learn, you will always avoid karma if you're unconscious. But once you become conscious of the power that you're steering, for good or for worse, be warned. There'll be a result. There'll be karma associated with it. So, knowing this, I have to remind you that for years, skeptics, atheists, educated idiots, and God knows whom out there, they have harassed me. They have calling me names like you have no idea. And each time, all I did is to challenge them openly in public. Yet, over the years, many of them, specifically James Randi, $1 Million Challenge guy, he never spoke to me, nor did they invited me or investigated my work. And for good reasons, I understand. And during those days, they had no idea. But all of a sudden, total silence. They've stopped bothering me. Well, first of all, the reason why, these people will not delegate me is because they're cowards, okay? Mostly because there is no challenging me or my prediction, because they are dated, they are published, they are in my books, they are on radio, they are in television, and that makes me already winning the challenge. So in fact, they do owe me $1 million. You know, it is said that a statement can only qualify as a prediction if it exists prior to the event it foretell. That's all I have. And in fact, today I put the link of one of my radio show where I predict earthquakes, where I predict drama, death, and what happened in Notre Dame. And of course, I did also put the old videos, number 1 and number 2, that I did in the past, to those who landed again on my work not knowing anything about me or the real modern prophet out there. And we are rare. They are, but we are very, very rare. So as a rule, my cosmic work can only vex, you know, those who could never accept, you know, figure out the indeed truth about the church. Yeah. Like Mick and Catherine wrote, these are the producer of this wonderful conference I'm going to be doing in Australia and Egypt in the future. They wrote, we were a reminder of Easter, of Jesus being persecuted for his upturning of table, exposing the truth. As Julian Assange was languishing in a maximum security prison for doing the same thing, or for me, being harassed for years and being removed from all major networking websites, LinkedIn, Wikipedia, Google deleted hundreds, if not thousands, of my newsletters that were available publicly. Facebook is constantly limiting me and eliminating any page that I have over 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers. I cannot go there anymore. They won't allow me to edit, to add more, get more of you to follow me. No, just doing just the opposite. They keep my numbers down. I can go on national radio. I can give my website. I can give on coast to coast. When you have millions of listeners, yet my numbers on Facebook stay the same. That tells you there's a lot of things that the status quo doesn't want. Be changed, the status quo, and the people who run the status quo, the Illuminati, they just don't like people like me. That's why the Inquisition was created, so they could hang and burn people that were gifted, stole their cosmic wisdom, and make a good use of it. And teaching you to fear me, to fear astrology, so they can control you even more. So he says, Mick and Catherine also added, the beauty and history of an iconic cathedral burnt, and there was an outpouring of sadness about the loss of this landmark, especially for the French. However, there are no accidents, not in my work. It also shone the spotlight on the dark secret of the church has hidden. Okay, and the $1 billion raised almost immediately or so quickly for restoration angered so many who saw it as obscenely misguided to spend money that could be used for so much more. Exactly what I always say: spending money on your churches or for NASA is not a good idea. It should be spent on those who need it the most. And most of all, Mother Earth. She's on our only livable spaceship, because you're never going to go to Mars. And let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, okay, hypothetically speaking, let's say we managed to live on Mars. This is possible, right? I know from the bottom of my soul. But let me tell you something. Let's say it becomes possible. Now, do you think your children will be chosen to go to live on Mars? No. This is a group of people that think they are too smart to work a normal job. Okay, they want to continue making little robots and sending them out there and spending billions of dollars that blow up in flame. What a waste of money. Most of all, people don't understand that a church is not a church, it's a bank. At every corner, regardless of the good that they do, because they are doing good. There's not taking that away. But it's nothing compared to the millions and billions of dollars going straight into the Swiss bank account of those who created those mega churches and maintained those mega churches. We are now entertaining jerks. A joke is a joke. When you listen to Joel Osteen and all those big suckers, infected, manipulated, greedy idiots who have nothing in the head but manipulate and use and abuse you. And here you are saying amen, hoping that God's going to give you a place in paradise if you give them money or even dishonor your children, because it does happen. They manage to make sure the money goes to them, not to your children. And that's why Notre Dame burned down. It burned down as a higher level message that was already set by the churches, because they need your money and they don't get it. So let's find something. Let's remove every precious, artwork first. Let's pretend we're going to do some renovation. All right. And all of a sudden there is a fire. Come on, wake up. I already explained that in the 2 videos that are into the newsletter to refresh your memory. Repetition is a must, so you can understand my message here. All I'm trying to tell you is that religions were created by the reptilians for a good purpose, to create chaos, to use and abuse you. And in 2019, slowly but surely, the age of Pisces, of illusion, of deception, the symbol chosen by Christianity, the fishes, this energy, these cosmic winds are dying and being replaced by the age of truth, the age of cosmic consciousness, the age of humanitarianism, with abuse and greed and idiocy, stupidity and ignorance must be eradicated from planet Earth. And as we move along through the quickening, like Art Bell used to say when I was on the air with him, where everything is accelerating because the age of Aquarius is kicking in big time, opening doors to many people like me who own a piece of the truth and are willing to share it using Aquarius, which is technology, astrology, UFO, the impossible, the incredible, humanitarianism, connecting the people who have names and power together so they can make this a reality. The new age of Aquarius started in 1945 when we first detonated because of the reptilians manipulating the mind of negative scientists, the first nukes, right? Poison gas. All along, the draconists have also did also their own part by making absolutely incredible progress through technology, manipulating or stimulating, I would say, the mind of other scientists who had better thing to do with their ingenuity than to create weaponry and kill people. In reference to Nostradamus quatrain, again, remember in the 16th century, he had to be very careful of what he said. It couldn't be like mine, wide open and keywords on top of that. No way. It was doing totally the opposite of what I'm doing today. Okay? And for your information, all these UFOs experience led me, I couldn't help myself, to master the works of the great prophet. He could not do that openly, okay? And if he was not the friend of Catherine de Medici, the French queen, he would have been hanged and burnt a long time ago by the Inquisition, who was always looking after his ass. Once he was walking the street and he saw somebody, that was carving the face of the Virgin Mary. And he said to that person, "You're carving evil." The person went and reported him. And I tell you what, it was a miracle for him, because he was a very honest guy. Nostradamus was born with the moon in Scorpio. He lived at night. He had a very deep fixity of purpose, very mystical, with the head of the dragon in Pisces, opening the doors to the superconscious in time and space. So he had the gift, he had the stars, he has the element, he had the perfect UCI to do what he did because he was set to do so. And he also had connection with the extraterrestrial. And I will get one of his quatrains in my slideshow that connects him directly with the ETs, and I will translate it. You know, in order to translate Nostradamus quatrain, first of all, you have to be French. Not only this, but you have to take the 16th century French and translate it into today's French. Then you have to remember Nostradamus was also speaking other language, not just the language of the god or the stars. He was also speaking Italian, Latino. He had a lot of wisdom. He was a professional student, born in December. You're talking about the Sagittarius. They are professional students. They like to read. Look at my good friend John Maxwell, born in December. Okay? He hates the church, and for good reasons. That's why he's in hiding now. Now, again, let me read a quatrain that was translated by someone. I can guarantee that person, first of all, either was no French, okay, didn't know nothing about le provençal, which is our local dialect in Provence. Okay, I was raised with that language. I forgot, but I remember my grandparents speaking le provençal. And not only this, but you have to speak the cosmic language. You have to know, and not the language you speak today, because modern astrology has nothing to do with Nostradamus astrology. Okay, that's why the Association of Astrology won't never invite me, because I would challenge their own basics again. Same old story. They know me, they heard me, but they stay away from the archery. That's how it is, you know. You know, as I always says, you know the essence of a real genius when all the dancers are, you know, engaging together to deny him. That's the reality. Okay, this is what this person in French says. Chef d'Aries, Jupiter et Saturne, Dieu éternel, quelle mutation. Puis par long siècle son malin, temps retourne, Gaule et Italie, quelle émotion. Okay, now in English it's the head of Aries, Jupiter and Saturn. God eternal, what changes can be expected? Following a long century, evil will return, France and Italy, what emotions will you undergo? Okay, well, guess what? Again, this is inaccurate for tourism. Again, I repeat myself, the person was not French native, and if he was, or she was, obviously he was not, or she was not cosmic conscious. Okay, okay. That person does not understand the word chef, okay, or the head. The rulership, the chef of Aries is the planet of Mars, or Aries, the Lord of War, okay? Now, plus on top of that, the head means the dragon's head is in the sign of red Aries, and the sign was war. Its color is red, blood, the metal is steel, weaponry, Germany, the Martian country. And Hitler was born in April. The correct translation goes as follows. Mars, dragon's head, Jupiter and Saturn, which are planets. Okay, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and the dragon's head in Aries. God eternal, what? Transformation. Okay, that's a question mark. What transformation? Okay, it's obviously psychical. Following a long century, malign spirit will return. Okay, France and Italy, what emotion will change you? Now, for your information, Nostradamus, this quatrain, he speaks all about the current news involving Notre Dame, terrorism, racism, politics, Trump, and summarize in all. Everything is summarized in the one that I wrote in June the 12th, 2013. Remember, those visions started in 2013. German Viking skin alike, black and white, red blood, fire, war, violence, passion, rule, God nowhere to stop fire. Hitler, evil spirit reborn, in bracket, President Trump. God nowhere to stop fire. Jesus, when I wrote that in 2013, do you think I knew that California was going to go through hell with fire? And I say God nowhere to stop fire, I think I must have been right. So understand that, you know, when people say, Dr. Tree, I believe you're the reincarnation of Nostradamus, I laugh. I laugh. I was born in Provence like him under the same stars and happened to be a Pisces, and then happened to have all that it takes to be able to tap onto the archetypal realm of supracosmic consciousness. Pretty much like Michael Jackson had what it took to become a dancer, a singer, a Madonna, or whatever. It's all written in light through the stars. But, you know, maybe when I was a kid and I went into his house before they turned into a museum and took a few things, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I have no idea. Maybe I'm cursed, because this gift can also turn out to be a curse, because there's so much I know and I cannot tell you everything because I don't want to scare the shit out of you. Sorry, my French. All right. Now, again, I have to reemphasize that in the name of cosmic ignorance, okay, there are a lot of people who write about Nostradamus, prophet, wannabe, who never have studied the stars, his stars, okay, who never ever get remotely close to the power that the prophet had. They are just professional students reading his book and translating the best way they can. They're not even French. Okay, so it is important that since the death of the prophet and over the centuries, all of those who have tarnished Nostradamus' names, okay, and his cosmic work, pretty much like I did with me, okay, will have to suffer his curse. Okay, this includes, you know, a corporation like Wikipedia, which are really struggling right now. And many of the people that I have known all along my long career since I started in 1991, okay, that stopped reaching me, okay, with my vision and removed me from every major website and keep ridiculing me, okay. So all the links are there. And then I wrote another warning and a quote: let him, so that's personal, who ignore this one and be cursed, according to the eternal rites of the cosmic code and universal ceremonies. And it's something I can't even control. I just telling you, if you don't know anything about Nostradamus like you should, and you end up not being clear and diminishing or hurting the prophet's name, you're going to have to suffer his curse. And there are a couple links in that newsletter today, okay, for you to read about a curse if you never heard it. And there is also a radio show available where I talk about it. Remember, tonight I'm on the radio. Who knows what those ladies are going to ask me? But it's going to be interesting to talk about the curses, especially the one of Nostradamus. I might lead people to this newsletter. I think it's no accident for me to have written this specific newsletter in relationship to curses and to magic, black magic, and so forth. So there is also links involving black magic, voodoo, if you should, you know, be afraid of it, or if it's real, just, you know, read it. That's why I write every day. Now, you know, those links are there, as I said. I'm looking at them right now. So basically, all I was saying is that in my own Nostradamus curse way, so to speak, using his quatrains and his keywords like he used to do, but in a much more open, extraordinarily transparent and very obvious keywords. All I was doing is seeing Hitler and Trump, okay? Well, before he got president, and I wrote, my legacy of fire, death, and drama will return upon the earth. And I put the face of Hitler and Trump. And then my vision started in 2013. And that's where I wrote this quatrain: German, Vikings, skin alike, black and white, red blood, fire, war, violence, passion rules, you know, God nowhere to stop fire, Hitler, evil, spirit, reborn. I mean, how more precise can I be in a quatrain that's supposed to be completely hidden and mystical? It's all in the light as far as I'm concerned. So I could be Nostradamus' brother doing the same work that he did, but without the Inquisition. That's exactly what it is. And I made another one for you to check on my claim. Okay? This one I'm warning for the months of June and December. Will it be this year, next year, the year after? I don't know. I don't want to tell you. Okay, all I can tell you is to read that. All I can say is to read that quoting for you again. Okay, blooming flowers in mid-months of June or icy December. Cosmic God may spare humanity. So I'm referring to the draconics being able to beat the reptilians at their game, and liberating Trump from his mental infestation. Hitler, famous infected spirit to die. World rejoice, infected souls cry. Okay, when I say infected souls, I'm talking about all the people who have fears and negativity, resist, and all the people that want to kill other people, all the people that are controlled by and infected by the reptilians. So, you know, and I wrote this in April 10, 2018. So that one is the latest that I wrote. And it's still there. We are not there yet. That quatrain did not unfold. So let's hope. Let's hope nothing happened to our president. Okay. Okay. And I gave you a date and I keep reminding you. Okay. And I want you to share it. Remember the 17th. Okay. The 17th of this month. There is a SOS to the world. It's a plutonic window. That's the evil. It's a dance of evil that I see ahead because the reptilians are going to get really going this day. And Draco warned me to warn you. Whatever you do during this window, be very cautious, especially of what will happen following that window. We're still into that shocking, you know, timing now. I've gave you plenty example in my previous videos on how to analyze yourself and be aware on how those energy are coming to you. Okay, so one thing that is sure in Nostradamus quatrain, the closest one that some of the people may agree with is when he mentioned emotions, you know, and then you go, you know, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, now they're saying Notre Dame is a flame, great emotion for the whole nation. He mentioned the word emotions. When Nostradamus mentioned that 500 years ago, our thoughts got out to all Catholic and to the French people, like all my fellow citizens. I'm sad to see this part of us burnt tonight. Well, it is very, very sad for such a beautiful, beautiful piece of work to end up in flame, but there is no accident. It was set on purpose to bring the attention and to bring the billions of dollars, because you will never know. You will never know the real amount of money that pour from all over the world by all these millionaires trying to buy their place in paradise by rebuilding that church. My God, how low did humanity came from? And how low are we still? God thanks the world of Aquarius, the new age of Aquarius is kicking in and helping you to get out of that codification of thought, of this mental manipulation, and realize that God never came down and wrote no books. And Jesus' cosmic ministry is real and speaks with the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 hours of the day, the 12 months, the 12 sins, the 12 jury, the 12 apostles. Connection between astrology and Jesus is immaculate. It's real. It's divine. And that's why you wanted to introduce humanity to our Father in the heavens, well outside of the 10 stupid commandments written for a bunch of morons 2,000 years ago couldn't think. Time to grow up and accept what it is. Accept God, cosmic divinity, the new religion that is unifying us instead of separating us. Like I always says, doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Christians, Muslims, or God knows what out there. There is 875 different religions. All of you have a dragon's head, a dragon's tail, a sun sign, a moon sign, a Venus position, a Mars position. Makes you understand others outside of your own 5 limited human senses, outside of your rationale, because you now dig into the divine. You're looking above where God resides in the universal church, above your head, in your heart, not down to hell, where you are stuck right here, right now, in your fears and your ignorance, feeding the reptilians. Well, all I can tell you, my friend, my work is extraordinarily transparent. And those people who have harassed me and managed to literally get me away from all those popular websites have done their part, thanks to the reptilians. They want proof. Well, 911, my famous prediction, was printed over a year before it happened, and all the details, especially the last capitalized phrase, the government making drastic action. Where I mentioned suicides, where I mentioned, read it, it's in there, it's published well before. And that's why those suckers will never challenge me. And for the FBI to come and visit me twice because I predict more terrorist attack. That should give you an hint that maybe you should pay attention. I know you do. I also offer a radio show, the one that I did with Madeline, Rudy, and Wizard on TCOR radio on April the 18th. And just listen to that 2-hour show. You see the date, you see the prediction, you see the drama, and obviously the result with Notre Dame getting in fire, and of course, terrorist attack, earthquakes, it's all there. All you got to do is listen, get a pen, pay attention. I'm going to do it again tonight on the radio anyway. So is that going to change anything? I'm not sure. But hey, I can only give it a try. Now, I'm sure many of you heard of Rachel Evans. My gosh. She was a popular Christian writer, and she died at 37 years old. Wow. When you look at it, so young. But why? Why did she die so young? Well, that's why she died so young. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. She was placed in a medically induced coma in April 2019 following an infection. By May 2nd, the condition was said to have worsened due to severe swelling of her brain, and she died on May 4th. She wrote a lot about evangelical, millennial, the church. What do you expect? She was born in June, under the sign of curiosity, the writer, the teacher. She was born a mercurial, very curious, meant to pass on information, and God wanted her to shine through her printed and spoken words, like all Gemini. And look at your president; he shines through his words, or doesn't. But it's all about communication with Gemini. I wrote myself a lot about what she was writing, challenging her during those days. I wrote a lot about millennial. So maybe you should realize if a 32-year-old young lost soul, religious soul, came out a bit too late, or a 69-year-old man like me, cosmic conscious, can give you the answers to that generation of millennials, who they are, what they do, what to expect. I wrote about it. Just go and read it. So let me explain a few things about Rachel. First, rest in peace. May God bless us all. I'm going to show it to you. I mean, if I show it to you, you would understand better. This is a UCI, or a unique celestial identity. I'm trying not to move too much. You see, she was born with the sun here in the sign of Gemini, okay, right here. She has Mars in Gemini, so she was very, very competitive. And then you could see at the head of the dragon. The head of the dragon happens to be in the sign of Leo, in her third house. Third house traditionally is controlled by Gemini. Gemini is communication and transportation. We always start with Aries as house number 1 when you start to read. So Gemini is number 3, or it regulates the mind. And in her case, she has the head of the dragon in the mind. So she was already set to be a writer, to be famous, to be with CNN, because that's Leo means fame and power and building the stage within the world of communication. On top of that, she has the moon in Gemini, so she was allowed to work from home and gain fame, and in the process get a lot of success. Okay, that's the head. Now look at the tail. The tail is in Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius was New Age. She had the same dragon's head and tail as Princess Diana, who never wanted to be a queen, so to speak, and to follow the hierarchy. She wanted to be free. So that was a good dragon for her, so to speak. Sad enough, um, the tail of the dragon of the year currently in 2019 is in Capricorn and is right on the death house. So the tail of the dragon, the universal dragon, currently in 2009, took her away. That's what I'm trying to say. And then she was delegating with things that involve religion. Anything to do with religion was degenerating her. She was tapping on her tail, not on the head. Leo was the art. I believe she was an artist. So this is basically what's going on. Okay. She had an incredible potential. She has Uranus, the planet of the future of technology, who regulates CNN on the sixth house of work and health with the black moon. Obviously, she did not know about the moon passage through the belt of the zodiac. She didn't know nothing about her dragon tapping into the ninth house, which regulates religion. That is a topic and a subject that she should have stayed very clear of. And then she was digging right into it, degenerating. So next thing you know, she ended up in a hospital. Hospital give her all sorts of medication, and they killed her. Or they finished her up, so to speak. So basically, what happened here is that the reptilians knew her chart. They said, why don't we lead that lady to talk about religion and confuse the hell out of her and help, to degenerate. And then that's going to end up in hospital. They're going to give her medication trying to fix her. And the thing, she's going to die. It's pretty hard for me to expose, facts of this nature to people who have absolutely no cosmic consciousness. I know my students will just connect with me right away because they've been trained. They took my course either physically or by mail. Okay. There is so much power, so much wisdom, so much values in cosmic awareness. Yet, a lot of people are not curious enough. They'd rather watch a little bird, person, pole, facing a camera and turn that video very viral. My gosh, what's wrong with this world? Oh, look at the girl, you're stuffing yourself, crying, being degenerated, manipulated by the reptilians using technology. Make her feel depressed and stuffing yourself with all sorts of food, just explode and die just because of ego and stupidity and riding a tail. Wow. Many of you out there watching me right now have kids. Wow. That's so vulnerable. Maybe you should think for their birthday to give something special, like a little tape tailored by Dr. Cherry. Okay, so if you can do the job, I can reach your kid because they won't necessarily listen to you, but they listen to me, especially if they are spiritual and they don't have the food they desperately need to regenerate. Remember, their school university is controlled by the reptilians. Want them to study everything and anything that is scientific, rational, or religious, because most of these schools are controlled and owned by Christians or other religions out there. I'm not there. I'm not there to regenerate those kids. So it's a decision that you might have to think about. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to be going to the conference again. One of the things Victoria and allow me to be there and do what I do best, doing readings. Because of the amount of people that are going to be there, if you're going to go there, maybe you should start to send me an email. Say, hey, Dr. Tree, I'm going to be there. I know you're going to have queues like last time in Las Vegas. So if you really want to have a spot at that conference, you may want to send me an email and say, hey, and then I will get these by order. And then when anybody comes and said, set up a time for you when I get there, and then this way you're sure I take care of you. So those readings are going to be $200 instead of 700. And everything is going to be either recorded on your phone or we'll bring my little recording machine. You can get a little Walkman for $10. They are everywhere available. I'm old-fashioned, you make good soup in old pots. That's Dr. Cherry. and then be ready. But don't expect me to spare you, and don't talk. I don't want you at the end to listen to you. You're going to pay me to tell you what I know. I'm going to teach you universal rules that apply personally to you. I'm going to push you 2, 3, 4 years ahead of you. I'm going to explain every one of your stars, the good and the bad, and the location of your dragon. I'm going to check on some of your past lives, talk about your health, everything that I'm supposed to do, as I always do. Everything is taped, and particularly the prediction of what's ahead of you. So I'm going to be there doing what I do best. And we shall see you then. One more thing. This morning I woke up, I was crying of happiness. Talk about a shocking surprise. My mom came and visited me. We were in a car, and then there she was, beautiful, full of lights. I'm looking at her, she looked at me, and then she hugged me, and she said, "I love you, Louis." And I hug her back, and I start crying. I said, "Mom, I miss you." She said, "Oh, I'm here. I'm here. Oh, believe me, I'm here. I'm watching all over my kids." My mom was a Scorpio. And I just was so happy, so happy. I woke up full of tears. I want to talk about a surprise. I mean, you know, a mother, a father, a brother, or sisters, even a pet, when they go, they're still around. But somehow, they will show you that they still care, and they will still guide you and help you, even if you don't know. All right. So, talk to you again. One more time, thank you for listening, and share this little video. Hey, make it a good day. Bye-bye.